The transfer student publicly confessed her feelings to Henry. Henry chuckled softly and said, "You like me? First, get the top rank in the grade. Then we'll talk. I am the top of the grade." He said that with me around, I could take care of the troublesome girls for him. But this time, he changed his mind. "Sarah, Amelia's grades are bad. Let her have a chance. I'm going to chase her." I froze in place, my heart full of bitterness. Later, as I headed to South City University to register, Henry stopped me at the train station, looking confused and helpless. "Sarah, you promised we'd go to North City University together." Chapter 1. Henry was the most influential figure at a City No. 1 high school. Good grades, handsome looks, wild personality. Everyone knew that I was his childhood friend. During PE class, the transfer student Amelia confessed her feelings to him in front of me. "Henry, I heard you're hard to get. I like rebellious boys. What do you say? Wanna be my boyfriend?" Everyone waited to see the drama unfold. After hitting a beautiful three-pointer, Henry chuckled lightly. "You like me? First, get the top rank in the grade. Then we'll talk. I am the top of the grade." This wasn't the first time Henry had rejected a girl's confession. Before Amelia, there had been over 10 other girls who confessed to him. Each time, he used this line to make them give up. This time was no different. Amelia wasn't upset after being rejected. She smiled indifferently and walked towards me. "Are you Henry's childhood friend?" I was about to respond when Henry wrapped his arm around my shoulder, a smile of affection at the corner of his lips. "Sarah, don't pay attention to her. I'm hungry. Let's go eat. Today's your favorite ribs. I'll get you mine too." We went to the second floor of the cafeteria. After getting our food, we sat down at a table. Amelia walked over, holding an empty tray. "Henry, the ribs are sold out. Can I eat with you? I'm not like your friend. I can only eat 2 pieces and be full. I'm easy to satisfy." "No." Henry frowned slightly, his tone very indifferent. "You're so cold. Just like when we played racing games." "I like it." Amelia smiled with her red lips, then stood up and walked away. Henry placed his ribs on my tray, his voice cold. "Sarah, stay away from people like Amelia." I instinctively looked up, but I found that Henry had curled the corner of his lips in disdain. Yet his gaze followed Amelia as she walked away. I froze. A strange bitterness rose in my heart. From childhood until now, it was the first time I had seen him look at a girl like that. Chapter 2. After school in the afternoon, the school gate was crowded with people. Amelia leaned against Henry's motorcycle, smiling brightly and provocatively. "Henry, I've watched you race, and you're really good. My cousin's club is having a race tonight on Lewing Road. Wanna come with me?" I knew Henry wouldn't go. Last semester, he almost got into trouble racing, and his dad gave him a serious lecture. "Sarah, you go home on the bus today." I heard Henry's voice. My heart skipped a beat, and I reminded him, "Henry, your dad said you can't race before the college entrance exams. If you don't tell him, how would he know?" Henry interrupted me with a mischievous laugh. "If he asks, just say I'm playing basketball at school. He'll believe it." You know, those words from a good girl. Before I could reply, he turned and mounted his motorcycle. Amelia looked at me with a challenging smile, hugging Henry's waist. "Henry, good girls aren't suitable to be wives. My mom says girls like that will only cry when things get tough. Sarah can get the top rank in the grade. I'm sure I can too. After the second mock exam, when I surpass her, I'll confess to you." Henry raised an eyebrow lazily, his voice full of playful laughter. "I don't believe it. If you can surpass Sarah, I'll chase after you." The roar of the motorcycle engine sounded. My mind also buzzed. I never thought Henry would use me as a bet. I walked awkwardly towards the bus station. Suddenly, his 2 sentences echoed in my mind. "Sarah, with me, the second in the grade, protecting you. The first in the grade will always be yours. My back seat is only for you, and only you can hold my waist." At the time, I blushed and my heart raced. Now, I just feel the wind blowing really hard, and the sand in my eyes is so uncomfortable. Chapter 3. Back at the apartment, when I passed by Henry's house, his dad called out to me with a smile. "Sarah, why didn't Henry come back with you? Is he playing basketball at school again?" This brat Almost at the college entrance exams and still playing around. Forget about him. Come over for dinner. Your dad just left. And you'll have to cook for yourself when you get home. Mr. Zhao. No need. I bought something on the way back. I'm not hungry yet. I politely declined, quickly running upstairs. I was afraid he would notice my red eyes from crying. At 8 p.m., I went downstairs to the convenience store to buy an error correction notebook. The shopkeeper asked with a smile, "Sarah, the college entrance exams are coming up soon, and you're betrothed to that Zhao boy. Are you two planning to go to the same university?" "Ma'am, that was just something we said when we were kids. Who still believes in childhood betrothals? Now, it's all about free love." Suddenly, I heard Henry's light laugh from behind. I turned around and saw him holding his helmet, with Amelia standing next to him. Amelia smiled sweetly. "Sarah, today's my birthday." After the race, I had Henry take me to the amusement park to ride the Ferris wheel. "You won't mind, will you?" Henry raised an eyebrow, smiling lazily. "She's just my good friend, not my girlfriend." "What right does she have to mind? Just a friend?" My nostrils tightened. Childhood memories flooded back like waves. When I was 7, I was bullied by 2 troublemaking kids in the neighborhood. Henry beat them up and said sternly, "Sarah is the girl I like the most. Anyone who dares to bully her, I'll beat them up." For my 10th birthday, Henry gave me a pink Barbie doll, saying it was a token of our love, and that he would marry me when we grew up. Our parents made a fuss and betrothed us. Looking back, it was so childish. I'm the joke for actually believing in it. "Henry, I really had fun today, but I have to go. My cousin is still waiting for me outside." A horn honked at the alley entrance, and Amelia smiled brightly. Henry didn't respond. He pulled me upstairs, his voice lazy and husky. "Sarah, I want to eat the wontons you make. Go upstairs and make me a bowl, will you? I had a bit to drink today. I can't let my dad find out. I'll go back later." I didn't respond. The bitterness in my heart rose like a tide. Earlier today, Henry had told me not to interact with Amelia, but he seemed to be sinking deeper into it himself. Suddenly, I came to my senses. The sourness filled my eyes. Tears immediately fell. I pushed him away, choking on my words. "I don't have any wontons at home. You can go home and eat." Henry froze for a moment, his voice softening. "Sarah, why are you crying?" I stayed silent, as if afraid I would overthink it. He quickly explained, "I went with Amelia to the club because we share the same interest. She also likes racing. I'm your Henry. Of course. I'm only focused on you." That bet I made at lunch. I was just joking. "With me around, your top position in the grade is definitely secure." I turned and walked upstairs. Henry caught up and tried to comfort me. "Don't cry anymore. Your eyes will swell up. If my dad sees, I'll get another beating. Didn't you forget? Last time, he chased me for 3 blocks just to hit me." Seeing his exaggerated performance, I couldn't help but laugh, and went upstairs to make him a bowl of freshly made wontons. Chapter 4. The next morning, I went downstairs and waited for Henry, just like usual, but after half an hour, the only person I saw was his mom, leaving for work. "Sarah, Henry left at 7 this morning. Didn't he say he was going to take you to the North City for some lean meat porridge?" I froze, unable to say anything for a moment. If I remember correctly, Amelia's house is in North City. When I got to school, I didn't see Henry until the morning study session ended. When he and Amelia arrived, walking in late, "Sarah, your favorite porridge," if Amelia hadn't reminded me. "I almost forgot to pack it for you. I've already eaten." I pushed the porridge toward him, lowering my head in a rush. The grievance and heartbreak clogged up my throat, with no way to release it. I couldn't understand. Last night, Henry was still comforting me, but today, his thoughts were all on Amelia. The more I thought about it, the worse I felt. I bit my lip, trying hard to suppress the bitterness inside, but the tears betrayed me, falling uncontrollably. Amelia, sitting in front of me, turned around, with an innocent look. She said, "Sarah, I overslept this morning. I was afraid I'd be late, so I had Henry come get me. Are you jealous over something this small?" As she spoke, she picked up the yam and lean meat porridge, looking more aggrieved than I was. "Sarah, Can you stop being mad? I'll keep my distance from him in the future. Before I could respond, Amelia suddenly let go, and the scalding porridge spilled all over me. She gasped and shouted, "Sorry, Sarah. I didn't mean to. I heard from the others that you're kind-hearted and often feed stray cats, so you'll definitely forgive me, right?" Seeing the sticky porridge all over my books, I pushed her away forcefully. "Amelia, are you crazy?" But Amelia was quick. Dodging behind Henry, she grabbed his arm, looking like she was about to cry. "Henry, don't blame her. This is all my fault. I didn't hold the porridge properly." He looked at me, his tone slightly reproachful. "Sarah, she didn't mean it." My eyes started to sting, like I was being drenched in cold water from head to toe. Hot tears fell uncontrollably, and even my voice was trembling. "Henry, she did it on purpose. Are you crazy too?" Henry froze for a moment, his expression clouded. The spot where his arm had been burned throbbed with pain. I rushed to the bathroom to rinse off with cold water, but the pain didn't go away. Looking at my reddened skin, I took out my phone and called my aunt. "Aunt, I've made up my mind. I want to transfer schools." At the start of the semester, my aunt had come to see me. She was worried that my dad's drunken rages were affecting my preparation for the college entrance exams, so she suggested I move in with her and transfer to a city's no-2 high school. I was reluctant to leave Henry, so I hadn't agreed yet. But now, I just wanted to get as far away from him as possible. I didn't want to live a life where I got one candy and then got slapped. "Sarah, if you've made up your mind, then that's fine. I'm on a business trip in the UK right now. Your uncle will handle the transfer procedures. Pack your things. I'll pick you up this weekend." Chapter 5. When I returned to the classroom, the porridge on my desk had been cleaned up with wet tissues by Henry. My eyes were red, but he pretended not to notice. I didn't acknowledge him. I silently moved our desks apart by 20 centimeters. Henry looked over, momentarily stunned. After school, Henry had a basketball game, and Amelia said she was going to bring him water. He casually stood with his hands in his pockets, his gaze landing on me. During the game, "I'll only drink the water Sarah gives me." Amelia's smile froze. I paused with the pen in my hand. Henry was right. After we entered middle school, every time he played basketball, he only drank the water I gave him. If I didn't bring it, he'd rather be thirsty than drink water from any other girl. He was stubborn like that. Over the years, I'd brought him water 547 times. Even when I had my period, I'd still run to the shop to buy him cold water. My thoughts snapped back to the present. I hurriedly packed my bag, ready to leave the classroom. Henry froze, staring at me in disbelief. "Sarah, aren't you going to bring me water today? This is my last basketball game before the college entrance exams. You said you wouldn't miss it." I smiled faintly. "Henry, is bringing you water my obligation? You're just my friend, not my boyfriend." Henry's face darkened, as we stood there in a stalemate. Amelia grabbed his arm. "Henry, stop arguing. It's all my fault. Sarah's mad at me because she doesn't like me, and she's doing this on purpose to upset you. You two have a betrothal. You're definitely going to get married in the future. My confession must have made things awkward for you, so I'll transfer back to my old school tomorrow." Henry furrowed his brow, his voice cold as ice. "Don't transfer back. Your mom said I should help you catch up in math. Starting tomorrow, you'll follow me and study. Sarah might be number 1 in the grade, but her math is weak. I've been tutoring her all this time. If I stop helping her, she definitely won't keep her top position in the grade." With that, he turned and left. Amelia jogged after him, her laughter like the sound of wind chimes. "Henry, I'm so happy. I have a feeling you'll definitely win today." Chapter 6. When Henry mentioned math, I felt a weight in my chest. How should I put it? Henry and I were the typical childhood sweethearts. Since we were little, whenever Henry's parents went on a business trip, my mom would always invite him to stay at our house. My mom was the most well-known math teacher in a city. She's been good at math since she was young. I didn't inherit her talent. No matter how she taught me, I just couldn't understand. But Henry did inherit it. From elementary school through high school, my mom gave him 5 free math lessons every week. After my mom passed away, he started tutoring me in math with a sense of responsibility. Surprisingly, I began to understand. Over the years, I've regarded Henry as the only son in my life, always following him around every day. If it wasn't for Amelia's appearance, I would never have realized how unreasonable he could be. After school, I went to the library. I didn't take the bus back home until 7 p.m. After getting off the bus, I went to the fruit store and bought a bag of apples. But as soon as I reached the bottom of my building, I saw Henry and Amelia standing under the locust tree. They were chatting and laughing. A gust of wind blew by. Suddenly, Amelia tiptoed and quickly kissed Henry on the cheek. Henry laughed openly. He lowered his head, as if he wanted to kiss her lips. My breath caught. The apples in my hand fell to the ground with a loud thud. Henry froze, turning to look at me. Our eyes met. The air seemed to freeze. A lump formed in my throat, like a piece of candy I had been saving for a long time, only to have it ripped away right in front of me. I didn't care about the apples scattered on the ground. I quickly ran upstairs. Tears bubbled up like the carbonation in a soda bottle. As my heart beat, they built up, shaking wildly, until finally, they exploded from the bottle's neck. By the time I reached my door, I was sobbing uncontrollably. Chapter 7. Sarah. How long are you going to cling to me? Henry chased after me. His face was dark, and there was a vicious look in his eyes. If you hadn't interrupted me, I would have gotten Amelia's first kiss just now. I froze for a moment. What did you say? Don't understand? Henry smirked. His grin twisted. Isn't kissing part of a relationship? If you can't even accept this, are you going to cry and run to my parents to complain when I sleep with her? A sourness rose in my chest. I blinked hard, unable to say a word. Henry loved motorcycles and basketball, although he was often indifferent and carefree. His father, Mr. Zhao, was the principal of the school, and their family had a strict upbringing. He had never acted this frivolous. I didn't understand. How could he change so suddenly just because Amelia transferred here? Seeing that I didn't respond, Henry walked into my house and took a bottle of soy milk from the fridge. He unscrewed the cap and drank a couple of gulps, smiling wide. Amelia's grades aren't good. Tomorrow's second mock exam. You should give up your spot as number 1 in the grade. I'm going after her. A wave of bitterness spread again, and my eyes instantly turned red. I stepped forward and shoved him out the door. Henry, I won't agree. The exam is based on merit. Why should I give up my position? Henry sighed, his face full of displeasure. My princess, why are you throwing a tantrum? Even if I'm with Amelia, you'll always be number 1 in my heart. Didn't I say this afternoon? When I play basketball, I'll only drink the water you bring. If you don't bring it, I'll lose the game today. I remained silent. He frowned. Sarah, be good. I know you've liked me since we were little, but I've always seen you as a little sister. Now that I finally have someone I like, you have to help me this time. As for the porridge, Amelia said she doesn't blame you for accusing her. She's so generous. You should learn from her. My body trembled as I listened, and I slammed the door shut with a bang. I didn't want to explain anymore. Anyway, tomorrow, I was transferring schools. Chapter 8. When I got back to my bedroom, my aunt called me. Sarah, do you remember Uncle Lee? When you stayed at my house in elementary school, you often played with his son when they went abroad. You had just started middle school. Last week, his son Gabriel came back to China and transferred to a city to high school. You'll be able to attend school with him from now on. I don't really remember what my aunt was talking about. That year, when I was in first year of middle school, I got the flu and had a high fever for 5 days. Most of my childhood memories are blurry, but every little detail with Henry, I haven't forgotten a single thing. The next day, there was a heavy rain. I set off early, planning to head to the exam venue in advance, but when I got to the bus stop, I was surrounded by 3 gangsters wearing flowery shirts. I wanted to run. They roughly dragged me into an alley, speaking in a threatening tone. Sarah, if you don't want to die, just stay here quietly. After the exam is over, we'll let you go. Who told you to do this? The gangsters didn't answer. They slapped duct tape over my mouth. It wasn't until noon that they released me. I knew Henry could never do something so vile. Apart from Amelia, I couldn't think of anyone else who would. When I reached the school gate, I saw the 2 of them laughing and talking. When they saw me, Henry froze for a moment, his brow furrowed. Sarah, where have you been running around? Why didn't you come to the exam? I told you to give up the top spot in the grade, not to skip the exam. Henry, shut up. I cursed at him and coldly looked at Amelia. Amelia, is this really what you want? To be with Henry? To get the top spot in the grade? You'd even go as far as hiring someone to kidnap me? Amelia looked startled, then anxiously began to cry. Sarah, you must have misunderstood. You're Henry's friend, and I also consider you a friend. How could I possibly have someone kidnap you? As she said this, she ran behind Henry and smiled smugly, as if she had won. I rushed forward, intending to slap her. Henry got angry. He shoved me away roughly, gritting his teeth. Sarah, are you out of your mind? Amelia has been with me since the morning. How could she possibly have someone kidnap you? I stared at the person before me, who was being so unreasonable. I couldn't help but laugh bitterly. My heart ached with a dull pain. I took a deep breath, then pulled out my phone and immediately dialed 110. Hello. I need to report a kidnapping and threat. The location is at the gate of a city No. 1 high school. I hadn't finished my sentence when Henry grabbed my phone and smashed it on the ground with a loud crash. His eyes were cold, his voice holding back anger. Sarah, are you still playing the victim? You're the one who was late for the exam, and now you're trying to frame your classmates? I'm really disappointed in you. If your mom were still here, she'd definitely be disappointed too. I froze in place. I stared at Henry in confusion. Chapter 9. Classmates were gathering around, their disdainful looks falling on me. Sarah seems so obedient and like a model student, but who would have thought she has such a venomous heart? She must be jealous of Amelia for stealing Henry from her. Obedient? I bet it's all just an act. A while ago, I saw Sarah on Walking Street, flirting with a drunk middle-aged man. They even got into a taxi together. They must have gone to a hotel. The sports committee member walked by with a smirk. I kicked him hard. Martin, shut up. That middle-aged man is my father. Sarah, I didn't expect you to be like this. The sports committee just said a few words, and now you're going crazy. Are you feeling guilty? Amelia gasped. I closed my eyes, clenched my fists, and forced myself to calm down, then spoke again. Henry was there too. If you don't believe me, you can ask him. Someone asked Henry if the middle-aged man was my dad. He looked at me and smiled cruelly. My dad was playing chess with her dad that day. Sarah, you're such a good girl, but look at how cheap you're acting outside. When people see it, you ask me, Henry, to give you a false alibi. You're just despicable. It felt like I had been struck by lightning. My mind went blank. I couldn't accept that Henry would say such things. That day, my dad had been drinking with his friends. I went to pick him up, because it was too late. Henry, worried about me, called a taxi to pick us up. Before I could react, Henry and Amelia walked towards the school gate. As we passed by each other, he sneered, Sarah, you've been protected so well by me, but it's time for you to experience the feeling of being framed. This is the consequence of targeting Amelia. I felt a sharp pain in my head. I calmed down. I picked up my phone from the ground and called the police again. The 3 gangsters were arrested. They said they were hired by the owner of a racing club. The alley's surveillance camera was broken. The police told me to wait for the investigation results. Chapter 10. After finishing the exam in the afternoon, it was still pouring rain. I bought a bouquet of lilies and went to my mother's grave. When I came down the mountain, there were no more buses heading back to the city. I stood by the road, uncertain of whom to call, while my phone still had some battery. I was about to call a taxi when Henry's call came through. I instinctively answered. Laughter came through the phone. Henry, last year when you broke your bone and had to stay in the hospital, Amelia went to visit you and bring you food. I could tell she liked you back then. The club owner also said she started learning how to ride a motorcycle just for you. But back then, you were only focused on the competition, not interested in love. Enough talking. When I confess later, make sure to record a video for us. My mind went blank with a loud buzz. My thoughts froze for a moment. That mocking laugh was... Henry? Was he going to confess to Amelia? Amelia, what are you doing with my phone? Henry, it's Sarah calling you. She seems to be in a hurry. I heard Amelia's slightly flustered voice through the receiver. I was about to hang up. Henry's deep voice came through. Sarah, If you have something to say, just say it. Henry. I opened my mouth, choked up, and hung up the phone. The screen slowly dimmed. Tears blurred my vision. I looked up at the dark clouds in the sky. At that moment, it felt like there was a piece missing in my heart. So, they had known each other for over a year. At that time, when Henry had an accident while racing, I visited him in the hospital every day. But the food my mom and I brought for him, he only ever ate a few bites. I thought it was because he wasn't hungry due to the injury. But what I didn't realize was that Amelia had already been bringing him food. Sarah, don't cry. A cold voice suddenly sounded in front of me. I looked up and saw a boy in a gray hoodie. He was probably around 6 feet tall, handsome, but he didn't look easy to approach. Henry's not worth crying over, he said. I was stunned when I saw the school badge peeking out of his pocket. It said, a City No. 2 High School, Class 2, Year 2. I was a bit confused. Little brother, do you know me? The boy leaned against the motorcycle and spoke in a cool, tough tone. Sarah, my name is Gabriel. Don't call me little brother. I'm only a year younger than you, and I'm taller than you. Gabriel? That name sounded familiar. Get on. Gabriel tapped the back seat of his motorcycle. I instinctively took 2 steps back. He smiled with a playful grin. You think I'm a scammer? Isn't it possible? Who knows where you'll take me once I get on? I turned to leave. Gabriel quickly got off the motorcycle and said in a low voice, Sarah, it's only been 7 years. Have you really forgotten me? When we were in 5th grade, I gave you the nickname Little Pumpkin, and you gave me the nickname Big Watermelon. Then you cried and threatened me to be your little follower. 5th grade. I froze in place. That was around the time my parents were having marital problems and were talking about divorce. My mom sent me to stay with my aunt for 2 years. I used to cry a lot. But there was a boy who lived next door, and he told me that crying wouldn't solve anything. When you're bullied, you have to stand up for yourself to defeat the other person. Later, my parents stopped fighting over the divorce, and they brought me back home. Little follower, I muttered to myself. And Gabriel chuckled lowly. Heartless. You actually forgot about your little follower. Memories of elementary school slowly started to come back to me. Then I realized that the uncle Lee my aunt mentioned was Gabriel's father, the owner of a city's ocean motor group. Sarah, I got a call from your aunt. She said your dad couldn't find you and guessed you came to the cemetery. So she asked me to bring you back home safely. Gabriel took out a raincoat and put it on me, then hopped onto his motorcycle. Quick, get on. There's going to be a thunderstorm soon. Chapter 11. Half an hour later, we arrived downstairs at home. I had just taken off the raincoat and handed it back to Gabriel when Henry's furious voice came from behind me. Sarah. I turned around and saw him, radiating with anger. My dad called me. He said you haven't been home, and I've been looking for you while trying to finish confessing. I called you, but you turned off your phone. I'm so worried. I almost lost my mind. Is this how you behave outside? Fooling around with people? I was at a loss. What I did had nothing to do with him. I tried to bypass Henry and head upstairs. He grabbed my wrist and, with a little force, pulled me into his embrace. Sarah, you really have guts, don't you? Do you even know this guy? You're just going to hang out with him? There was a fierce fire burning in Henry's eyes, and his voice was colder than I had ever heard. I pushed him away. Without hesitation, I slapped him across the face. Talking to a friend for a bit means I'm flirting? Henry, your values are truly heartwarming. Henry tried to grab me again. Gabriel ran over in 2 or 3 steps, landing a punch on his face. So, you're Henry? How dare you touch my Sarah? Are you looking for death? Henry fell to the ground, momentarily speechless. What do you mean? You're Sarah? Who the hell are you? Gabriel spoke slowly. Word by word, I'm Sarah's childhood sweetheart. Henry's expression froze in shock. He opened his mouth slowly. Damn it. What joke are you playing? Sarah only has one childhood sweetheart. And it's me, right? Sarah? He smirked, his eyes locking onto mine as if he had already won. I shook my head. With a strong tug, I pulled the starry bracelet from my wrist and threw it into the pouring rain. Henry, this was the bracelet you gave me in first year. I've worn it for 6 years. Here, take it back. Henry's world seemed to explode like thunder, and his eyes were filled with uncontrollable anger. Sarah, How dare you? This was something I made with my own hands, and you throw it in the water? Don't think I really care about you. I just came to find you because of the relationship between our families. I understand. You don't need to bother with those family ties anymore. We don't owe each other anything. I spoke with a calmness I hadn't expected. As I said my goodbyes to Gabriel, Henry picked himself up from the ground. His tone turned irritable. Sarah, he's your childhood sweetheart. So what does that make me? I've known you for 17 years, and I've never seen him before. You must have deliberately brought him here to make me jealous, right? I didn't even give him a glance and just went upstairs. Chapter 12. My dad was cooking when I walked in. He swung the spatula angrily and shouted, Sarah, skipping school and not coming home. Are your wings too strong now? Where do you think you're going? I called Henry. He said he was hanging out with friends. You know all his friends. So why weren't you with him? I had gotten used to his explosive temper over the years. I glanced at the spatula on the floor, my tone calm. Dad, I want to transfer schools and move to Aunt's place. My dad frowned tightly when he heard that. No, you're not going anywhere. You're my daughter. Isn't there enough room for you at home? Why do you want to live at someone else's place? He suddenly pulled out a cigarette, cursing as he lit it. I'll tell you, your aunt's not a good person. She married a rich man, and now she thinks she's all that? I wanted to get a job at her company, but she won't even let me. She thinks she's too good for me. I interrupted his rant with a cold voice. Dad, what right do you have to curse at my aunt? After Mom died in the car accident, the driver gave you $2 million, and you gambled it all away in 2 days. Then you ended up owing $1 million and had debt collectors coming after us, threatening me while you hid outside, drinking. Aunt paid off that debt for you. What more do you want? My dad, furious, grabbed a bottle of liquor and threw it at me. I dodged. I turned around and went into my room to pack my things. Outside, I could hear my dad's angry shouts. Sarah, if I had known you were this heartless, I should have forced your mom to have another son. In fact, when I was very young, my dad always wanted my mom to have another child. But my mom didn't agree. First, because her health had been damaged when she gave birth to me. Second, because she wanted to give all her love to me. Chapter 13. The next morning, I went to school early. When Henry arrived, he brought with him a pink lunchbox filled with soup dumplings. The lunchbox was familiar to me. It was the one his mom had bought. There were two. The blue one was for Henry, and the pink one was for me. Since my mom passed away, Henry's mom often made food for me. My mom's not home. I made this for you. Henry's eyes were downcast, his voice hoarse. I know you really like these. I've been harsh on you these past few days. Consider this my apology. My tone was flat. Recently, I've been craving egg pancakes. Henry's face darkened in frustration. He grabbed the lunchbox and threw it into the trash can, angrily saying, Sarah, don't think I'm trying to make peace with you. I've never been this humble in my life. Whether you eat it or not, it's up to you. The classmates in the room started whispering among themselves. Amelia, sitting in front of me, quickly picked up the lunchbox. Sarah, if you don't want to eat it, you can give it to someone else. You can't waste food like this. Are you blind? The lunchbox wasn't thrown by me. I gave her a cold look. Amelia's face flushed red, but she didn't dare to say anything else. Why is Henry being so nice to her? If I had a friend like that, I'd keep my distance. I heard the voice of the sports committee member behind me, sneering. I was about to snap back at him when Henry suddenly stood up, kicked over his desk, and said, What I said yesterday was a lie. The middle-aged man you saw on the pedestrian street yesterday is Sarah's biological father. Martin, I warn you, if I hear you spreading rumors about Sarah again, I'll tear your mouth apart. After he spoke, he stormed out of the classroom. Amelia grabbed her bag and ran after him. Just as they reached the door, our English teacher, looking confused, stopped them. You two, come back here. What are you playing at? You're all about to take the college entrance exam. What's all this melodrama? Henry's explanation didn't fully remove the doubts in everyone's minds. After class, I walked up to the podium and posted a photo of my family on the class WeChat group. I then smiled gently and said, This is my family's photo. Although those who are clear don't need to explain, I still want to clarify the rumors that have been circulating these past few days. My mother's name was Laura, and she was a math teacher at a city no. 2 high school. 2 years ago, she passed away in a car accident while saving 2 elementary school students. Regarding what Martin said about me pulling on a drunk man's arm, that man's name is David, and he's my biological father. He was just out with friends, drinking, when that incident happened. Finally, thank you to my classmates for always looking out for me. For personal reasons, I will be transferring to a city no. 2 high school. I won't be coming to school tomorrow. I wish everyone good luck on the college entrance exam. After finishing, I left the classroom. My phone kept buzzing. Several classmates apologized to me, but some were still skeptical. When I left school, the police called. They had traced the 3 thugs to their boss, Alex, from the club. Alex admitted that it was Amelia who had hired him. He said he thought the little girl was struggling with a secret crush and decided to help her out. When the police found Amelia, she was racing along the coastal highway with Henry. Chapter 14. That evening, when I got home, I saw my aunt. I didn't know what she had discussed with my dad, but suddenly, my dad agreed to let me live with her. Dragging my suitcase downstairs, I passed by Henry's door, and he rushed out to stop me. Sarah, is it true what my mom said? You're really moving to your aunt's house, transferring schools? Is it because of me? I fell silent and took a step back. Henry stared at me, his tone becoming more urgent. Tell me, when did you decide to transfer schools? I was about to go downstairs. He stretched out his arm, snatching my suitcase away. His face was filled with regret. Sarah, Amelia framed you. I believed her lies, and this is my fault. I'm sorry. Can you please not move away? No. I pushed Henry away, but he suddenly shoved me against the wall, his eyes burning with rage. Sarah, we have a childhood engagement. You accepted the Barbie doll I gave you when you were little and promised you'd marry me when you grew up. Those words nearly shattered me. He had kissed Amelia in front of me not long ago, and now, he had the nerve to bring up our childhood engagement? Seeing that I didn't respond, Henry's emotions spiraled toward anger. He punched the wall. Say something, Henry. What's wrong with you now? Mr. Zhao, hearing the noise, ran out and kicked Henry away. He apologized. Sarah, if it weren't for your homeroom teacher telling me, I wouldn't have known that Henry was spreading rumors about you in class. He's learned to be bad from those people at the club. This afternoon, I, along with your aunt, gave him a good beating at the police station. Henry's mother also ran out of the house. She grabbed my hand with a reluctant expression. Sarah, I've watched you grow up. Don't cut ties with me just because of a disagreement with Henry. You're always welcome at my house. I'll keep a spare key for you. I smiled and hugged her. While packing my bags downstairs, I noticed a cardboard box that was packed to the brim. Inside were all the toys Henry and I had played with when we were younger. The most prominent one was the Barbie doll he had made for me. Just as my aunt placed the box in the back seat, I took it out. These things shouldn't come with me. I placed the box next to the trash can, and when I saw Henry standing downstairs, his expression changed immediately. Chapter 15. After I arrived at my aunt's house, I had just finished unpacking when Henry sent me a message. Sarah, after the college entrance exam, will you come back? I'm not in a relationship with Amelia. I've just been leading her on. You don't need to tell me about your issues with her. Henry, if you really feel sorry for me, stop bothering me right now. I just want to focus on preparing for the exam. I replied and then blocked him. On Monday, I started attending a city no. 2 high school. I found out that Gabriel was really in his 2nd year of high school. After learning that he was actually a year younger than me, I often teased him, getting him to call me big sister, but every time I spoke, he would throw a tantrum. One day, Gabriel suddenly said, Sarah, if you want me to call you big sister, it's not impossible, but only in special circumstances. Those words turned my face bright red. He smirked, ruffling my hair. You dummy. I meant during the new year. If I call you sister then, as the elder, you can give me a big red envelope. Henry didn't come to find me anymore, but every time I went home with Gabriel, I could always see him riding his motorbike. He had changed his hairstyle, and hanging on his bike was a rabbit plushie. It was the lop-eared rabbit that I loved in middle school. After the college entrance exam, Henry sent me a text from an unfamiliar number. Sarah, don't forget our promise. I didn't reply. Before school started, I set off for South City University. Henry stopped me at the train station, his eyes filled with a mix of grievance and helplessness. Sarah, why did you choose South City University? Didn't you say we were going to ski together in North City? I've already planned it. We were supposed to go to North City University. Why did you break our promise? Going to North City to ski was a promise we made when we were 15. We had even planned to fall in love during the first snowfall, one that would be blessed by our parents. I once thought that we would fulfill that promise smoothly, but unfortunately, the more beautiful the promise, the more regretful the outcome. Sarah, I know I was wrong. You can't treat me like this. Henry's eyes turned red. I turned my head away, refusing to look at him. He muttered to himself, recounting all our shared memories. But to me, they all seemed so distant. They felt like they belonged to someone else, someone who would always follow him, the other Sarah. I admit, from childhood to now, I had always depended on Henry. I always thought I was different in his heart. But Amelia's arrival made me realize that he could be kind to me, just as he could be kind to others. My feelings for him were just a solo piece that traveled from spring to winter. Chapter 16. 2 months after school started, Henry's mom called me. She told me that Henry and Amelia had been racing cars. They had crashed into a guardrail and flown out for several meters. Both of them broke their legs. She cried on the phone, sounding like a mess. Half a month later, Henry came to the dorm building to find me, leaning on crutches, holding a tin box in his hands. Even though the tin box had rusted, the words carved on it were still visible. Your warmth lights up my life. It was something I had engraved before the start of our first year in high school. Inside the box were 17 love letters I had written to him. On moving day, I threw the box into the trash. He actually picked it up. Henry wanted to hug me, but I took a step back. His lips trembled, and a trace of regret passed through his eyes. Sarah, I hate Amelia so much. If it weren't for her, our relationship wouldn't have turned out like this. A few days ago, there was a heavy rain, and the road was slippery. I deliberately invited her to race cars, and she ended up getting injured. I frowned slightly. Henry, you're making me sick. Amelia has issues, but she doesn't deserve this. Are you just blaming her and not thinking about your own mistakes? We ended up like this because you wanted both sides, didn't you? Henry was stunned, his eyes red again. Sarah, can we really not go back to the way we were? You wrote me so many love letters. You must have had feelings for me. Don't tell me you've fallen for Gabriel, or some other guy. Can they be better than me? Sarah, can you write me one more love letter? This time, I swear I won't mess things up. I smiled lightly. Henry, I haven't fallen for anyone else, but my feelings for you are now a thing of the past. Henry's expression kept changing, and in the end, he said nothing, turning and leaving. In the afternoon, my aunt came to visit me at school with her 2 daughters. On the way to the fried chicken shop, I smiled and asked her, Aunt, you have 2 daughters. Why are you so good to me? Because you're my sister's most beloved daughter. My aunt patted my head, her face full of gentle smiles. Sarah, study well, and if you need anything, just let me know. That night, as soon as I lay down in bed, Gabriel sent me a message. Sarah, wait for me at South City University.